Ladies and gentlemen, we are very happy to have this chance to give you a presentation. So today, me and my group member aims to introduce the Geely company, and for your better and clear understanding, next page we divided into four sections. And firstly, we would like to look at the macro environment and analyze the festival. Secondly, we would like to talk about the cultural challenges like the cultural dilemma and the different languages. And then we assist the culture challenges used by the entrepreneurs. Finally, we will look at the global project by framework and then give you some recommendations. So next page. Yeah, as you see, the screen is according to the search link, culture influenced and effective management of an organization. And furthermore, recently in 2019, the National of Corporate Culture which is involves both the organizational and national cultures. So in this sense, roles as the culture management department is to overcome them and improve the interaction of the managers. So, yeah, occurring this important event, and the here is important date is on the 2017 is about partnership with the Lotus Cars. So I would like to invite our group member to introduce her part. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about the macro environmental analysis. So the pestle was introduced by F. Aguilar in the 1960s. So first, the pestle of UK. So about the political part, UK is the constitutional monarchy and a parliamentary democracy. So since January 2020, we have the Brexit with increased the relationship with the US. About the economical part, there is the Brexit, which caused the price increase and a shortage of workforce. About the social part, we have around 68 million of people, where the population is getting older, which has an effect on healthcare and insurance. About the social part, we have, about the technological part, we have that London is a great hub for financial and technological institutions, which offers opportunities for entrepreneurs. About the environmental part, UK is a member of the Sustainable Development Goals with the UN, and companies working in UK, they must follow the Environmental Protection Act of 1990. And according to the company that are operating their business in the UK, they have to follow the Employment Act of 1996 and the Equality Act of 2010. Next.
Well, about we want to introduce to you about pastel of China. Firstly, about political. China has a stable political status and independent political status, which can provide a good business environment. At present, China has formulated many policies to promote the development of enterprises, which can help Geely develop more reply. And next about economy. China's current economy growth rate is very fast. So China's economy environment is very suitable for enterprises to invest. And China's current inflation rate is relatively high. And about social factors, China has a larger population and nearly 90% of the people are educated. So, but in the highly developed internet area, Geely's competition is very fierce. And next is technological factors. China has made a great progress in technological innovation. There are many technology gains in China, so Geely will face fierce competition in the Chinese market. And the next is about environmental factors, such as some environmental population, climate change, and some else. And the last is the legal factors. The country has banned social media such as feedback, Twitter, some else, which can prevent this platform the generation incomes. Next, please.
So now, according to what has been said, the opportunities and threats arising in the environment. So first, for China, the opportunities will be that Geely Automotive can develop a partnership with other countries like Europe. And for UK, it will be development of a trade partner with Asia and an economic diversity. And the threat for China will be the difficulty to attract foreign capital for investment. And for UK, it will be like running business in UK is very expensive and there is a high paid workers. Next. About the Porter's 5 forces of UK. So first about the bargaining power of suppliers. So the auto industry need labor, raw materials and services, and this cost have a lot of impact on the final benefits of the business. About the threat of substitute, there is an augmentation of fuel prices, so people are using public transport. About the bargaining power of buyers, the customer have the power to negotiate price and walk away from the product. About the competitive rivalry, they are all fighting for leadership. And on the threat of new entrants, there is a difficulty to enter the industry because of the need of investment and resources. Next.
About Porter's 5 forces of China. Firstly, is competitive really creates a powerful differentiation and increase scale. And next is the threat of the new entrants is very important. For instance, China must innovate to attract customers, and is a bargaining power of buyers. Like a new product and innovation to attract people. And the next is the threat of the substitutes and try to highlight the core need to customers. And the last point is the bargaining power of supplies. China can build strong supply chain with multiple supplies. That's it. Next, please.
Okay, so in this part, we're going to explain the potential cultural challenges that will impact the operation of Geely Automotive in the UK. So according to Globe Theory, the way of doing business of China and of the UK are different because, for instance, China is coming from a Confucian-Asia clusters, and here they are focusing more on the harmony and on strong relationship, which is called Yaoxuan in Chinese. Whereas in the UK, they are coming from an Anglo-Saxon cluster, and there they are focusing more on the performance and the profit. So to identify these cultural challenges, we used the model of culture, which combines both the management task and cultural values approaches. Therefore, this theory explained that the management tasks are impacted by the 8 cultural values, which as, for example, time focus, space, and so on. Overall, this theory explained that when opposite cultural values are going to meet, it will be resolved by cultural challenges, since peoples have different way of thinking and of doing things. And in the worst scenario, it can lead to the failure of the deal. For example, on the time focus, when the Chinese managers are going to set the goals of the company, they are going to do it in a polychronic way. So it means that they are going to focus on relationship, whereas the English managers are going to focus more on the task itself and on schedules. Therefore, within the teamwork, it must create some challenges.
Okay. In this part, we're going to talk about assessment of cultural differences that the Geely Automotive Holdings Limited is likely to encounter in UK. So firstly, we all know 5 dimensions of Hofstede, like the power distance. China has a high score in power distance, while the UK are much lower. Here, we have to mention 2 important things which caused this situation to happen. Well, in China, the one is inequality are acceptable. Second is subordinate prayer relationship tends to be polarized. So Chinese managers more like a dictator. The United Kingdom is equality among people and subordinate are consulted during decision-making. Individualism, China is a highly collectivist culture where people act in the interest of the group and not necessarily of themselves. The British are highly individualist and private people. Children are taught from an early age to think for themselves and to find out what their unique purpose in life is and how they uniquely can contribute to society. Geely company in China's internal maybe is a unity, but in the UK branch may not necessarily, because the British is a highly individualistic nation. And about masculinity, the China and Britain are both masculine society, success-oriented and driven. The need to ensure success can be exemplified by the fact that many Chinese will sacrifice family and leisure priorities to work. Leisure time is not so important for Chinese. Yeah, next.
Sorry, I mute.
Well, the dimensions affect the process of enterprise management, and different cultures need to overcome the problem of their own strategies, and each circle style corresponds to a different culture. And dimensions are also mode of learning. And next, please.
Okay, as you see the screen, it is about sharpness. And before you travel another country, please attention, and you must know their rules. Like China, and it's a particularism, and is very important on relationship, and this always depends on who you are talking to, and to be noticed if you are speaking to a leader in China. But in UK, it's universalism, and that can uniquely and determine what is universally valid. And next is I would like to introduce the specific culture, and that is the most directly used in the deep six words and framework and effect. But the diffuse culture is the preferred to indirect communication that may carefully use the context clues to converse understanding. Yeah, next.
Okay, so China has an ascription culture, so it means that it's only specific peoples who are going to take part on the decision making. Not everyone can participate, and the status of the specific peoples will depend on age, political association, and relationship. For instance, if people come from a powerful family, it will be favored to a higher position. Whereas in the UK, they're focusing more on the accomplishments. It means that everyone can participate on the decision making, and the status will depend on skills, qualification, and accomplishment. If you do a good work, you will have the position you deserved. Then China has a synchronous time, so for them time is interchangeable, and therefore schedules and punctuality are less important, and it's more about relationship. The opposite, UK, for them time is money, so schedules and punctuality are very of the core of the company since they are from a sequential culture. About the internal and external direction, China has an external directions because they want to work with the environment to achieve their goals. So again, the emphasis on relationship, the guangxi, is very important. The guangxi is very at the core of their businesses. Whereas for the UK, to achieve their goals, they have to control environment. The most important thing is about profit and competition. They are very coming from an internal culture.
So now we are going to talk about the strategies and recommendation. So according to the Cambridge Dictionary, synergy is the combined power of a group of things when they are working together that is greater than the total power achieved by each working separately. That's why synergy must be made to achieve the reconciliation. So first, there is a process of two countries like UK and China. The context is that Geely's members are coming to UK, and there is difficulty to communicate due to different cultures. So synergizing will be, for example, to recognize, to search, and to propose some new solution. So about this solution and a recommendation, first we have to think of the benefits of this deal. We can respect diversity. We must respect diversity with open mind thinking. We must use experiences, try activities of the opposite culture, show interest about their culture to avoid challenges, and don't take everything too personally, but communication is key.
Okay, about the strategies and accommodations. Firstly, we can looking for the international capital, and secondly, can looking for a partner. It's very important. It's very important to looking for a partner, especially in the international. And the next is looking for the international market, and the next is looking for opportunities for development and growth. And this 5 is get the support of the government. It's very important in the Geely. And the next is strengthen the management and market monitoring. And the 7 is improve product quality and production level. Like we should not rely solely on the advantages of the low cost and the lack of the profit return, and avoid neglecting to improve product quality and service quality while competing and fails with the process. And the last important is carry out cross-culture integration, for instance, to cultivate international talent. Next, please.
Well, and to sum up, Geely can seek solutions from the following points when facing challenges. First, market operation. In order to cater to the British markets, Geely needs to cooperate with large British automobile companies, such as stock insurance, and Geely needs to diversify if it is to gain a bigger share of the UK markets. And in addition, Geely can learn how to develop a Geely company by looking for partners, such as working with British companies. At the same time, Geely needs to improve the quality and production level of its products and not rely too much on the advantage of low cost, which would affect profit returns and make investors lose their confidence in it. And second, cultural integration of the two countries. After Geely set up factories and companies in the UK, it should cultivate a large number of international talents, and Geely, as a Chinese company, should try to reduce the cultural difference between Chinese and British employees and let them communicate more when training their employees. And third, according to theoretical analysis, we can know the power of China and the UK distance is obviously different. In China, it is difficult for subordinates to disobey the decisions made by leaders, and their freedom of work is not high. However, in the UK, leaders need to negotiate with employees when they decide to do something. As a result, Geely's company in the UK needs to fully consider the cultural difference between the two countries. And China is a highly cultivated state, while Britain is a highly individualistic state. So there are different differences at work and socially. The Geely companies needs to consider the different culture of the two different countries in its corporate culture. And in China, people like to rely on relationships in their work of life, which is very different from the British behavior. Considering the championess factor, it is obvious that Geely does not work in the UK if it still intends to rely on relationships to develop their companies. And finally, what Geely company needs to change in the cross-cultural environment is not only the capital means, but also needs to integrate Chinese culture and British culture together. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And after you can see the references that we use for finding our information.